Hello everyone, this is lesson 4 for Kali. Okay, so we have a lot that we're going to cover over here today, or at least some good material wise. Okay, this is going to be in a sense, the next progression in techniques that you're going to work with. Okay, so far we've worked on angles on the same side. We worked in angles that are opposite. Now, in today's lesson, we're going to go in completely perpendicular, if you want to think like that, different angles wise, okay? So, but first, we have to get to our next blocking concept, okay? The flipping over, if you want to think of it like that. Flipping over or like pancake type maneuver, etc. So if we're moving through with our technique wise, getting our footwork, our rhythm down, let's say the next strike is going to come to the ribs, boom. It's almost like an abanico, but halfway. So, boom, over, pop. Okay? Over, pop. Over, pop. Over, pop. And if you notice, I did a little itty bitty slap against my arm. This creates a little bit more torque toward being able to move toward my partner. So, flipping over block, 1, 2. 1, 2. Now you can move forward with the next strike. So, 1, take it to number 4. 2, move into a 3. This can also work to the head as well. Notice it acted again, like I was reiterating, sorry, like an abanico, where it's like a fan strike, using this concept for a blocking concept. So I'm going to move it, change it, move it, change it. Okay? Now, that's number 1. Number 2, using it in a more fluid manner. So if you notice, I take the stick, I'm moving in a circular manner, just like we did in the last video. It's like the chasing dragon, but this time I'm using more as if the tip of the stick is leading, and I'm transitioning into depth wise. So if I go in angle wise, boom. Notice I led the stick away. Now I can use the rear end of the stick and then come back through. Okay, so that's number 1. Other side, boom, then you can move through. Okay, same exact thing, low, through. And you're moving forward wise, okay? That's the second blocking. So again, first blocking technique, abanico, then strike, flipping over, strike, okay? Number 2, guiding block, or guiding redirection, I should say. Notice, each and every single time, I'm keeping a short stance, because the shorter stance can move quicker, okay? Now, let's take it to another aspect wise. What the next concept that we're talking about is combinations, okay? So we've talked about, as I said earlier, moving on the same side, moving opposite, okay? Even up and down, vertical. Now, we're changing angles completely. For example, 1, 4, or 1, 5. Sorry, 1, 6, sorry. And, or. So just on those 4 combos, 1 to 6, 2 to 5, 4 to inverted 1. Notice the difference between an inverted strike and a regular strike. 1, angle 1, inverted 1. So 1, he goes down on that angle wise. Inverted 1. 1, inverted. Same thing with the 2. So basically, instead of going diagonal, I'm going horizontal. Like a horizontal 1 if you want to think like that. Okay? So, 1, 5, or 1, 6, sorry. Boom. And then 2, 5, 4, horizontal 1, 3, horizontal 2. Now we can also take this to, we've done a lot of these angles on this side. Let's take it to the next dimensions, being vertical and horizontal. Okay? Horizontal 5, 4, 6, 3. So again, notice I'm always trying to stay behind my wrists. No matter where I'm going, I want to stay behind my wrists. This is my shield. This is my sword. Okay? I'm staying behind my line of defense. All right? So again, 5, 4, 6, 3. Just moving into different combos. Or 7, 6, 7, 5. Going into a 8, 6, 8, 5. So now you're covering the entire range of where you could be struck. Okay? This is actually really kind of cool if you think of it like this. Okay? So we've covered over the next 2 blocks. Okay? We've covered over the difference between a regular strike and a horizontal inverted strike. Okay? And now we've talked about combinations. Now, you're getting to a point where you've developed fundamental strikes, you've developed fundamental blocks, you've developed fundamental counters, and you've developed 2 or a few locks and also takeaways. Okay? Let's take this to the next step. Okay? For 30 seconds, focus on doing a free flow drill. We're going to do the same thing later on. Oh, we've also talked about changing heights and depth within our fighting range. Okay? So, when we're doing this for a free flow drill, think of this in comparison to shadow boxing. Okay, if you're a boxer or a kickboxer or a Muay Thai guy. Think of it like doing kata, but more free flow. Okay? When you are working this, start out slow. Keep good technique. It doesn't matter which technique you throw as long as it is fluid. That's the most important part. And then continue flowing. For me, I keep a little bit of a round back just slightly because I'm being protective at my neck, okay? I am moving through and thorough with my techniques. So I'm not just staying back here, because if I'm staying back here, I'm open. I want to be able to move. Change direction. For about 30 seconds. Okay? Do it in 30-second rounds to begin with. Then move it to a minute rounds. Then move it to a minute and a half. And so on and so forth for however long you feel comfortable doing these techniques. Okay? Now, that being said, let's continue with one more concept. Okay? Now, it's often said in the Filipino martial arts that we're going to attack the closest thing that is to us. In which case, it's going to be the hand or the knee. Very rarely we're going to say, oh, we're going to attack the head first. That's not going to happen first, okay? Story goes, two old Arnis and Kali masters are crossing the road. They bumped into each other. They drew out their weapons, their knives. One of them went to attack the head. The other one went to attack the wrist. The one who attacked the wrist walked away from the fight. Why? He disarmed his opponent. Rather than just focusing, oh, I got to hit the main target being the body, he defanged the snake. He took the weapon away first. Okay? So defang the snake. I'm going to give you one very interesting way to do that today. Okay? It is, the way it was taught to me was you're going to 4 o'clock and you're going to 8 o'clock. Okay? So if the stick is in this hand, my lead hand, I'm going to go the opposite direction. Likewise, if it's in this hand, I'm going to go the opposite direction. Okay? So this is what's interesting. You're going to use this to first strike the ground and use a reverberation to come right back up to the partner. Okay? What's going to end up happening is that you're going to be able to push it off the ground and then attack the person's wrist. Case in point. Notice, I was able to bounce and go straight back up. Okay? And then you're moving back and forth. You change your height, you change your depth, and you change your direction. Change the other side.